come on. Oh. Greetings from Storybrooke, and this is the land where the timelines alone would make your head spin. You can stick your happy endings on a shelf. We don't negotiate with villains. We kick ass and protect the ones we love. And we also talk about ABC's hit series show, Once Upon a Time. Long-winded there. All right. That may be one of my favorite lines of the show.
Yes.
Anyway, how are you guys doing this week? There was Mother's Day yesterday, so we kind of postponed it for a minute. But how was your mother? This is Bobby Hawk, and with us this week as always. Sorry, I'm all flustered because of this is like one of our last shows, guys. I don't want this to end. Tony, how was your Mother's Day this week?
Pretty good. Just spending the time with my family there. All the mothers in the family. There were too many to mention, but it was great.
Very good. Very cool. Monica, did you get to celebrate with your mother for Mother's Day? Or
I called her. Her mother lives with her now. She has dementia, so it's kind of a catch as catch can when we meet up, because Grandma just can't be left alone anymore. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, she's 98, I think.
Dang, that's awesome.
So yeah, exactly.
Bless her heart.
Still kicking.
Right?
That's how I want to be.
Yeah, but she don't remember her granddaughter or sometimes her own daughter. So.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, my grandmother she passed before that really took hold, but she was definitely going down that road before. Yeah, really sorry to hear that.
She remembers me as long as I'm on the phone and not there, more or less. Sometimes she still asks me if how are things in Boston, because that's where she thinks I live.
Oh no!
Not Atlanta. Well, she grew up in Boston, therefore that's where I live.
What can you do?
Tell her I live in the brownstone and I'm doing quite well, thank you.
She just wants to hear that you're happy,
Yeah,
that's it.
I just try and fill that whatever she's looking for.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's move on to.
How was your Mother's Day, Bobby?
Thank you for asking, Monica. It was great. My brother came over and made the family Philly cheesesteaks. That was pretty cool. Unfortunately, you've never had a Philly cheesesteak?
I've never had a Philly cheesesteak ever. I think
my God.
I should have one in Philly, and I haven't been to Philly, so.
You ain't got to be Philly to have one.
Either, but okay, so maybe what I've had aren't the best Philly cheesesteaks, but do you guys have a grocery store called Publix?
No.
Or is that a?
It's more of it's Publix, I believe, is a South.
It's a South thing.
Yeah, specifically South, West, East.
Okay.
They're definitely amazing now. Oh, Jesus.
I love a Publix sub.
Yummy.
My favorite is Subs ever.
Y'all know I'm hungry, right? This is not helping me.
I'm
sorry, forgot.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. And then Elizabeth, did I ask you how your Mother's Day was? I'm sorry. How was your Mother's Day?
I actually got some texts and everything. Like some people were like saying it was my first Mother's Day. for me personally, I feel like I'm jumping the gun saying that. But I accepted all the gifts my boyfriend got me anyways.
Got you what?
I was hesitant to call it my first Mother's Day, but then I accepted the gifts my boyfriend got me.
There's
So,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
you know, his mom got me the What to Expect When You're Expecting book. His mom gave me that. And then there was some cute baby clothes. And then my boyfriend, I'm not wearing it right now, but my boyfriend got me a necklace with a heart that says mom on it. It's so cute. And I honestly didn't even want to take it off, but then the chain started to get itchy on my neck. So maybe I need a different chain. So, but I would love to keep wearing it for sure. But it felt weird. I'm like, I'm a mom. I'm still getting used to that idea that I'm a mom.
Yeah.
So wearing a mom necklace felt really foreign to me.
Yeah. Fair
And my
enough.
mom saw it and she's like, well, where's mine? And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's definitely something to get used to.
And my mom has already decided when my baby shower is going to be.
Oh, I called my mom up yesterday and I was like, Happy Mother's Day. And she said, Happy Mother's Day to you too. And I'm like, I'm not a mom. What the hell? And she said, but without you, I wouldn't be complete.
Aww.
And I'm like, okay, you are not supposed to make me cry. That is my job on this day. Damn it.
Aww.
So, yeah.
That's sweet.
That was very sweet.
Yeah. Well, happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day to all the to all the either belated, one day belated, or like 364 days early, whichever way you want to look at it.
What just happened? My computer froze for a second, and then I don't know what happened.
Okay, let me repeat the lame joke. I said either a belated Mother's Day or 364 days early, whichever way you want to look at it. I was wishing all the mothers out there,
Definitely want to say Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, my neck. All right. Anyway, we are dragging things along here.
Because we don't want this to end.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say the same thing.
Sorry to the listeners. We're going to be dragging things tonight.
Yeah, we got one more episode after this, and I guess I'll
be quicker.
I don't know if we've mentioned on here before
what's going on next weekend.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, might as well just get out of this out of the way. We're gonna be recording with former hosts Bill and Anne-Marie next week. We're actually all gonna get together for the most part. With the new mommy is not going to be able to travel. But
I have no money.
Like
I said, new mommy has to save her funds.
Will be diverted to baby funds.
Taking everything away from me already. I'm kidding. I love my child. I'm going to hell.
No, you're good. You're good. All right.
No, you're not going to the underworld.
Yeah, tell Hades.
Forget you, Hades. Forget you.
But yes,
Hades is dead as much as we know.
But yeah, so we're gonna be recording at Bill and Anne-Marie's next week. We're gonna all get together. We're gonna watch the finale. We're gonna record like a after party type show afterwards. It's gonna be a blast. But I'm
missing all the fun.
But for the most part, we're hopefully, as long as all the tech issues are sorted out, we should be able to have Anne-Marie. I'm sorry, Jesus.
No, Anne will be there.
Anne-Marie will be there regardless of tech issues. Elizabeth, hopefully
we'll it in.
but we'll literally, she'll be able to hopefully watch the show with us, even though she's 3 hours behind. Yeah, so look at it this way. Hopefully, if everything works out, you'll be able to watch the show. You'll have spoilers on everyone in California.
I do love that part. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be like 5 p.m. here, and I'll be able to see what's going on. I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait for everybody else to catch up with me.
Hopefully that all
vision.
works out. Hopefully that all works out.
Yeah.
But in the
Future
meantime,
vision.
we do have an episode to talk about. So Monica, why don't you go ahead and hit us up with one of your superb
Well,
rhymes?
why don't you give us the intro first, Bobby?
I did already.
No, I mean this is the land where
I did.
Yeah, he did already. That was
That's
at
how
the
I
beginning.
open the show every week.
You have to
That's embarrassing.
Sorry.
Are you going through like the curse when they lost the year, Monica?
Apparently, because I love his intro and I missed it.
Hey,
Redo
you
it,
gotta
Bobby,
do it again.
redo it.
You gotta do it again for
All right, I'll
for-
go ahead
for
and redo
nostalgia
it again.
purposes.
This time.
Just for Monica, I'm gonna go ahead and redo it again real quick, okay? This is the land where timelines alone would make your head spin. You can stick your happy endings on a shelf. We don't negotiate with villains. We kick ass and protect the ones we love. And we also talk about ABC's hit series Once Upon a Time.
Thank you, Bobby.
No, you're
So
good.
good.
All right.
Now all you gotta do is just do it for one more week.
But I think your rhyme's just as great if you could go ahead and
As H-Town celebrates memories return, Witch Rumple seeks dark power earned. Tiana, Sabine, stress fakes her royal fears. Naveen assures her leadership is the stronger of her careers. Henry searches for the apprentice. The power of the pen is momentous. To Storybrooke we are coming in this week's episode.
What?
yeah. All I don't even say things like this most of the time, but all the feels.
All the
Um,
feels.
Oh,
Yeah.
You gotta have more
I think
feels,
Bobby's
Bobby.
gonna be the first to
No,
cry.
no,
for
no.
me.
I hate those I hate like those sayings, but like,
No, you gotta have the feels,
This
Bobby.
like, I have no
it
problem like
applies.
having feelings, but I hate the like one of my earliest tweets was if someone ever says adorbs to me, I'm gonna totes punch him in the face.
Adorbs.
Well, just like the whole, this like that whole like shortening speak, like how everyone wants to amaze
You're
balls
old, Bobby.
or yeah, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. Now
I
you're-
was
you're like
referencing
me.
being an old person. Oh my god.
You are not a middle-aged person. Shut up.
Your hair is still blonde.
Right. There's
Oh,
no
Still
gray.
four.
You are like me at the AT&T store just this afternoon because I was asking technical questions and all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I'm really feeling the age of my technology degree.
See,
I'm not employed in that field, so haven't kept up with it.
I'm a
And that
tech
was,
guy. I'll always be there.
Yo, when it comes to memory, okay, I got you all beat. I forgot the lyrics to Happy Birthday the other day.
Happy.
How the
What?
fuck?
Happy.
Jesus.
And I forgot the song halfway through.
How? How?
No, it was my aunt's birthday. I was gonna sing to her, and then I said happy birthday to you, and then I paused and my brain froze. Everybody tells me that pregnancy brain is a thing, and in that moment, I'm like, all I could think of was the school version that I had learned.
Oh my god.
I don't know, because all I could think about was like, you look like a monkey, and you act like one too, like the school version. And I didn't want to sing it to my aunt, so I'm like racking my brain, and she's laughing like you are, Monica, at me because she's realizing that's what it was. And then I called my mom and didn't tell my mom, and my mom's telling me the song, and it still didn't click. And then like half an hour later, I was like, oh wait, I remember.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of stuck. What happened about?
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Going.
Oh my god.
Something happened with Bobby, and I know that's what Tony was reacting to, but I
It
just kept
wasn't
going.
me.
Oh, it was me?
Oh my god. No. No, nothing.
Guys, you're good.
Nothing. Just move on. Just
Move on.
Okay.
just
Fine.
forget about it. It's good.
Fine.
We'll just edit that out. No,
Yeah, I took a timestamp. We're good.
yeah, you did. Okay, great, awesome.
Wait, what happened?
No,
No, you're good. Hey, we're good.
My
after the podcast, we'll definitely revisit that.
But okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and move on with the recap for this week's episode of Once Upon a Time. As I said, loosey goosey, all of us are like, minds are elsewhere because we know this is the time we're gonna get together and do this. Anyway, a young Henry Mills travels through the forest to rescue a maiden who slumbers in an enchanted cave. He attempts to kiss her and break the curse that causes her sleep, but is knocked back by the fiery breath of a dragon. He quickly stands ready to retaliate when a dashing young prince comes out of nowhere and throws his sword into the dragon's heart. The handsome man kisses the damsel, breaking her curse, and well, you know the rest. She thanks Henry for being there, and he's like the brother she's never had. That's gotta sting. I wish Rumple appears with an offer to help him find his happy ending, but it doesn't matter which version of the Dark One he is, Henry's not biting. At Ronnie's, everyone celebrates their memories returning. Everybody's happy, but Henry's concerned that Facilier may still be out there, plotting. Later, Hook returns home from the hospital and receives a call from Alice. She stands at a distance, knowing that while everyone is reunited, they can no longer be near one another, for fear of Hook's poisoned heart. He promises he will find a way for them to reunite as well. Elsewhere, Regina stops by to grill Facilier and instead finds Gold tied up. He tells her that Facilier is dead and that Wish Rumple is responsible. Across town, Henry and family have their own little party. Lucy brings out cupcakes and candles to honor all the celebrations they've missed over the years. They blow out the candles on their cupcakes and wish, just as Emma did all those years ago. As the candles go out, Ella and Lucy vanish, leaving Henry alone. He turns to find Wish Rumple, and he has an ultimatum. He knows that Gold is trying to destroy the dagger's powers, which will apparently steal the witch version's dark powers as well. He can't let that happen. If he ever wants to see his family again, Henry will bring him the Dark One's dagger. At the precinct, Regina, Hook, and Gold gather to discuss the best method of attack towards the Wish Rumple when Henry rushes in and tells them about his family being stuck in the Wish Realm. Hook says he might have a way to get to the Wish Realm. Meanwhile, Tiana stress bakes while she tries to reconcile who she is. Naveen assures her she is the queen her people needed. Later, under the troll bridge, Henry and Hook wait as Gold and Regina arrive with Alice's looking glass. Unfortunately, the mirror is cracked, so Gold says the magic may not work, but that doesn't stop them from trying. They step through the portal that appears and vanish. Instantly, Henry and Regina tumble through to the Wish Realm. Gold and Hook are nowhere to be found. It doesn't take them long to realize that they are in Rumple's castle. They have a look around and find Peter Pan being kept in stocks. He tells them that this version of Rumple is not one to be messed with. So I really didn't write too much in notes here. It's kind of cool to have the actors back, but this isn't characters we've really seen before, or character, I guess, at this point. And I wonder if they had him in that stock, because you got to remember when he was on this show, he was a younger man, so I'm sure he's probably grown since then.
Well, his voice hasn't changed, thank God.
But I wonder if he was in the stock to kind of so you didn't see so you didn't see how big he was, kind of like a Walton Lost situation,
I thought he was just captured just to be captured.
No, I hear you. But I mean, as opposed to like putting him in a cage or whatever the case may be. I could be wrong. That may be me just reading into things, but that's where my mind went. It like I said, it was very cool to see the actor. It just kind of is a shame that like not only we only saw them for a few moments really, or him at this point, and then B, there's no this isn't even the character. It was cool to see, I guess what would have happened between Rumple and Peter Pan in this realm.
Yeah, I wish he would have did more too instead of just being trapped in the stocks.
All right.
But
so
I did like seeing Robbie again.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly, and that's what I feel like a lot of this was just kind of like a yearbook, bringing us back through the series of remember, and that's what when we were saying earlier off camera, that's what the promo felt like. It was like, oh look, that guy, this guy, that girl, it's
it definitely was a yearbook moment. Like, hey, don't you remember that kid when he used to try to take over, the town and try to name it the New Neverland? Huh? Isn't it?
Elizabeth, what did you have to say about the moment there at the beginning?
Well, I was kind of thinking, so, I mean, Bobby thinks that the Prince guy is handsome. I would call it boyish charm just because he looked really like a teenager to me. He looked really young to me. And to me, he wasn't handsome. To me, he was like a little young. But
well, when I say handsome, it was like, I was just like, like
Bobby, I'm just teasing you.
Okay.
It's okay.
Like Henry was like the ducky in like this 16 candle situation.
Oh,
Duck? Why is he a duck?
16 candles.
I've never seen it.
Just the dorky best friend.
Yeah, Molly Ringwald.
Cutie.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
They never really explain what these random characters are that swoop in and do stuff out of nowhere.
Okay. Well, I have one more point.
No, you did. That I was gonna ask you to go on because yes.
Okay, so that young prince who saves the girl, the way he threw the sword like that, was exactly the way Emma had thrown the sword at Dragon Maleficent. So that was a callback to Emma in season 1 when she threw the sword at the dragon, because he did it the exact same way.
Now, okay, is that okay? You're right, but is that also a callback to Sleeping Beauty? Is that how the prince killed the dragon in Sleeping Beauty?
Yes, that was the actual way it was always done in the movie. So from there, and then when you do Charming did it first in the show, and then
he didn't. He didn't. I had to look at the clip today to make sure I didn't say it wrong. And the clip where Charming becomes, the prince himself, and he's taking over for his dead brother. No, that scene where he goes to the dragon, he chops off the dragon's head. Totally different. I had to watch the clip to make sure I got what I said.
I meant for when Charming was going to put the egg into the dragon, like into Maleficent's mouth. That's what I was talking about. Like that was the first time that motion was done.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Because I thought I had remembered Charming doing it, but then I couldn't find the clip. Damn,
But I'm asking that from the original animated Sleeping Beauty as well, is it not, or no?
Yes, that was exactly actually how Prince Philip had threw it. Like he did it. I think he did it with 2 hands or 1 hand, whichever one he did it.
But yes, he like threw it.
He did. Yeah, he did it definitely.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that's where it really came from. I didn't know that.
And that's what this first scene, like totally gave me vibes of. Was Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, just the appearance of the dragon made me feel that.
Well, true, but I believe, like, if I'm not mistaken, the attire that the prince was wearing looked very similar to the original animated version of Sleeping Beauty's, like that prince's, like the coloring and the you
I'm
know.
gonna have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I looked and I was like, is that, and I couldn't remember the name at first because I was saying Eric when I said it. Thank you, but and Eric was Ariel's, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I mean these
if anything, it kind of like if it's giving all of us that feels, then I guess we can call it canon ourselves of the Wish Realm younger version of.
But it wouldn't have been Wish Realm. That's not Wish Realm.
No, young Henry is in Wish Realm as a knight, isn't he?
No. That's I got a little. I'll be with you. I'll give you this. I got a little confused at that for a moment as well.
Me too.
No, that what we see in the beginning is Rumple is like shortly after Henry decided to go through the portal after from the beginning of the season here and go off on his own adventures and stories.
But okay, I get that part, but it's still, with it being Wish Rumple and not our Rumple that we know of, I thought that this was basically because he had mentioned like totally at the end of the episode saying, hey, I'm like that was part of Rumple and I deal that I get to have my revenge on you because you took my grandparents' life. That happened in the Wish Realm, which therefore kind of makes me think it did too. In the Wish Realm.
But he also tells our Henry, remember, you may not remember it, but I tried to make a deal with you when you were younger.
Version of
and and I told you then that you won't be able to have your happy ending without me. But I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about this. So he went to the Wish Realm Henry after he went to our Henry. When our Henry turned him down, he went to the Wish Realms Henry. But we didn't see
that's confusing. That's what confuses me about this scene. Because we only know.
I didn't catch it until like the third time I watched the show. Because like the first time I was like, oh, okay, so there weren't flashbacks in this episode. That was him talking to his, but like he even distinguished in that first scene, he distinguished, I'm the Wish Rumple. Why would he distinguish that? Then Henry says, I don't care what version of Rumple you are. I don't care what version of the Dark One you are. Why would he distinguish that if Henry were the Wish Henry at that point?
But then also then the thing that I'm trying to get across is that what I don't understand is that, okay, if Henry went through the portal to go through his own adventures and things like that, where did he get the knight's uniform from? Did he just like join a kingdom's
no, because he's from the Wish Realm and he grew up in the Wish Realm.
I'm so confused at this.
Are we talking about Henry in the royal garb?
The second young Henry that we see that walks in at the end with Rumple and blah blah blah, that's Wish Henry.
I thought so.
Exactly.
The Henry, no, it's not. The Henry, they're wearing different clothes.
No, it's just like the robe part is like off of him.
No, the first Henry, the first young Henry that we see is our Henry.
Yeah.
How would that be our Henry? He was in royal clothes.
Because he went off to adventures in the other realms.
Exactly.
Listen. But this is the
royal clothes that season 6 Wish Henry was wearing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It's not quite the same. I even looked again because the first time I watched the show, that's the thought process I had was this is Wish Realms. But then, like when I watched it the second time, I was like, whoa, wait a second. Because, like I said, in the beginning, when he specifies to Henry, I'm Wish Rumple. I'm the Wish version of Rumple. Which, if this were the Wish version of Henry, why would he be stating that to Henry? There would be no reason. There would be no reason for him to say, "I'm the Wish Rumple." And then
I get that.
And then, well, then why are you not getting that's not Wish Henry?
Because the clothes are the same as Wish Henry.
These clothes are not.
Why would he be wearing the same clothes?
They're not quite.
I'm so tripping.
Listen, they're not quite the same. If you go back and watch the show again, and they're just a little off. It's a red herring. They want you to think. Like I said. The first time I watched it, I thought so too. But like I said, if just for the simple fact of him saying, "I'm Wishrumple," or however he stated it, and Henry saying, "I don't care which version you are, I'm not biting. I'm not, I'm not taking what you're selling. I'm not buying what you're selling." And so for him to specify, "I'm the Wishrumple," automatically tells you that he's not in the Wish realm. Because he has in his realm. Yeah, he has to state that, "I'm the Wishrumple." Okay. Why would he say that if he was,
Oh crap, you're right, the clothes are different.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, okay, wait.
There's a screenshot of, if you can see, Henry from season 6.
Yeah. That's Wish Henry.
Okay. And then here, hold on, flip my screen. This is this weekend's episode. See the fur, and it's just a little different, but not that much.
Right. It's still got that gold mesh at the throat, but the rest of it is different.
Right.
I get that part because
people just change clothes.
I don't know, but the thing is that I guess what I was confused about it all was like, okay, wait a minute, why? Yeah, like. I was thinking that Wish Henry already knew about Rumpelstiltskin, but when we actually went to the Wish realm for the very first time, they never mentioned that, in any type of fashion, state, or form that Henry knew of Rumpelstiltskin at that time. They never really mentioned that, and which is why when we come here to 721. I guess, but with 721 here, season 7, episode 21. But I was just thinking that, okay, like if you had to tell who you were, maybe Henry at that time, Wish Henry at that time, just didn't know about Rumpelstiltskin until he introduced himself and said, "Oh, okay, I know who you are now." Right there, that's why I was confused about which Henry this was.
Well, so was I. But like I said, like just the simple fact of him introducing himself as being from the Wish realm, that automatically says that they're not in the Wish realm when he introduces himself as being from the Wish realm. Because there would be no reason for him to say that if they were in the Wish realm when he said it.
Yeah. And also things to say about that Wish Henry.
I mean, in all honesty, too, it's like. It sounded like, well, not sounded, but it looked like before when actually Henry that we know went to the other realm, he looked like he had, clothes already. So, which is why I wondered, like, okay, where did you get all the gear from then? Did you join some Kingdom's Knights, something like, or did you just say, oh, look, there's some clothes. I'm just going to take it off the hanger.
Yeah, there's definitely... There's definitely parts of the story that weren't told, but I mean, there's a lot of that this week, which I kind of bring up later. But like, I mean, we're in the last 2 hours. They have a lot to do in these last 2 hours. They set up.
Sorry, never mind. I lost my train of thought.
All right. No, you're fine. Basically, I was just saying is that they set up a whole new villain and everything before this happened, and so now we've got 2 hours to play this out and touch on all the things that have to be touched on and visit all the characters that you want to visit. So I mean, there's a lot on their plate, and so I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt for having to just kind of like even, and I think I'm kind of jumping the gun as far as into the episode when we talk here. Which we've already done anyway, so regardless. But like, there's a moment in the episode when Hook says to Ariel, "Oh yeah, okay, looks like him, but not him."
Yeah,
For which I have something to say about that whole scene too.
I do too. Exactly, I do too. But I was just stating, just for the simple fact of, there was a lot of just like brushing past of anyway.
Yes, there was a lot of that this episode.
I just really hate that. I guess when shows figure out that they're coming to an end and they're doing like the episode before the big ending, and it feels like they have to rush through all this. It's like, okay, no, you shouldn't have to. Take your time so it can end correctly, so everyone can understand what's going on.
All right.
They don't necessarily have.
True.
Tony,
like, one of my favorite series finales was with Alias.
Mm-hmm.
They had months in advance of knowledge of, okay, we're getting canceled. So they had time to plan out and prepare and bring this all to a close. And they did it in a beautiful fashion. I loved it. But they had a long lead time. So much more than these guys have.
True.
As far as what from the moment of y'all ain't getting renewed to the moment of the last episode. It's so much longer.
Didn't Once also have enough time with that too? Like at the beginning of the 7th season, they said this was going to be the last.
No, they didn't. No,
they really thought that
they didn't say this until
they were hopeful
because we've been talking that like they probably had a good 4 to 5 episodes that like had aired. Like when they announced like, okay, we're not coming back. There were still like 4 episodes that were airing that like were written before that. So like they had these 4 episodes that were airing that were like setting up everything. And then the next episode just kind of had to be like, okay, remember Ivy and Anastasia and all that? Okay, that doesn't matter anymore. Okay.
No.
It's like house cleaning up the house. Scratch. And
this is what's going to happen for the last few episodes.
Right. And so,
Exactly.
You can really see the transition of building story to breaking it down. You can see it.
Which is probably the reason why when we had those few episodes that we didn't like, it's like, wait a minute, okay, you were doing all this. What are you doing? What are you like? Why are you breaking stuff and rebuilding?
There was not, and that's what it was. Like there was about 4. They aired like 3 or 4 episodes like after the announcement, which was just them, it was the ones that had already been produced. So that's what they were airing. And so those ones, were already, in the cycle. Right, exactly. And so then they get to the next 3 episodes where it was just like, okay, all that stuff that we just like
set up,
built up for like the end of the season. Yeah, we're just going to tear all that down.
Scrap all that.
Yeah.
Scrap it.
Leave us with,
and that's terrible. And you know what? It's not their fault, actually.
It's not.
For the many times that they've gone through that, and when they weren't being canceled, they had to rework stories and things like that. And I guess now looking back after this long show, 7 years, we can't blame them for what seemed like a great idea at first, and then they had to scrap it and then they had to do something else. In my opinion, like those episodes that we never liked in the past and things like that, that was them saying, hey, this doesn't seem like it's going to play out, so we're going to have to do something else. But I guess it's ending how it's going to be. Yeah, that's one. That is definitely one, because I bet you. That is my biggest pet peeve. Like, because they had like, remember that scene where it was in Granny's diner? All those characters were sitting there. It's like, oh my god, it was so great. Like they had plenty of characters, plenty of stories to go through, and then it's like when it went through the way that it went through, it's like, okay, what happened to those characters? There was plenty of story. I don't know.
Let's get back on track here, Tony. Tony, do you have anything to add here as far as okay, yeah, you've already said Henry's a douchebag.
No, not Henry, the prince. I was talking about the prince. Prince douchebag that came in and stole Henry's fire.
I thought you meant like
Philip.
I thought you meant the other,
like quasi Philip.
Philip.
What is that? Is that like a mix between Hunchback of Notre Dame and Sleeping Beauty?
No, it was. I mean, I'm guessing she was saying the age and how he looked, but anyway, but yeah, like okay, I'm sorry, but Prince Douchebag basically stole Henry's fire, literally.
Came in. But you know what? Like, it's okay. But it's okay because honestly, if Henry would have kissed her, she would have woken up anyways because they had the true love kiss. So nothing would happen if Henry kissed her.
I had a problem.
Brother.
Oh my God! Stop fighting! Wait a minute.
Hold on a second. I had a problem with that too, though. Like, where did this? Like, I don't know, like that
dashing
smell of yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
I not like him.
He literally, let's just say, he literally put a bad taste.
You guys are like hater-rating all over him. He was
because he was a douchebag, and he just came in and just said, "Hold on, watch.
I got this.
I got this. Watch this." Like, come on, douche. Yeah. Like. Henry was ready for this. He came in this cave like, okay, cool. I got my sword. I got my cape. Let me just lick my lips and just get this ready. It was terrible. Like, it was so bogus.
I mean, granted, we didn't see anything that happened before that, but I wondered like how that curse was broken anyway. How would Henry have thought that he was going to break that curse? Where I don't know, just everything about that scene. Once again, the whole brushing past things or whatnot.
And you know what though, and you know what though, your theory though about not theory, but your confirmation about which Henry this is now makes sense. Is because when he said to Regina, saying, "Hey, I don't have a counterpart. I don't have a story, so let me go make my own." This was probably a part of his story, and it went wrong.
Right, that was him in
completely
the
south.
And also, going back to that for just a moment, if you look at the two young Henrys, if you look at their scenes, the Wish Henry speaks differently than our Henry does.
The Wish Henry is angry. He's angry.
But like the way, like the lilt of his voice, it's more of a regal, like like he. Like if you go back and watch the Wish Realm Henry scene or scenes, whatever, like it, like if you juxtapose the two, like you could hear him that he's grown up regal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that also that he is basically what Henry was supposed to be if he grew up in the Enchanted Forest and he was royalty.
Except for the fact that this is a twisted version of that. This wouldn't necessarily be how Henry would have been if he was in the Enchanted Forest, because like what was it in the Wish Realm that Regina killed Snow White and Charming?
She pulled out their hearts and crushed them.
Right. Trying to wake up Emma.
She realized it was real. She thought it was just.
Now.
That's why he hates Regina.
Okay, yes.
Like she thought it
that was oh my God.
Guess what, Bobby? Hold on, wait. Guess what, Bobby? What did you notice?
No, like
that
I didn't.
Me and Liz were right.
No. No,
you're never right, Tony.
No,
talking about you and me.
No, you're right about this particular thing. I just now realized, like, okay, when he says you took my, grandparents' body, like I thought he was talking about Regina, like the Wish Realm's Regina,
Ooh,
but
he was talking about Regina from Storybrooke.
I know. I forgot that scene. You guys just jogged my memory that happened.
Right.
Yes, we kept trying to jog it.
Like, this is real. She was trying to wake up Emma. This doesn't matter. None of this matters. But then we even have Hook say to
all be real. So
right, because even Hook says to Rumple in this episode, "I'm just as real as you are." Yeah, and Gold says, "I would never doubt that."
True. All this just for my first point of the Prince being a douchebag.
Anyway.
I think that to me that he's a real man.
I think that changes part of my recap. Damn it. Anyway, Anyway,
I got two more
let's move
things.
on. Yes, please.
Okay. So I also think that it's very sweet and kind of awesome that Hook calls his daughter Starfish. I think that was very cute.
Yes.
And also, shouldn't the poison heart spell be broken because Gothul's gone? Because she's the one who did it, right?
I was wondering about that. Like,
I mean,
how do you break that if the person who's I don't understand that.
Magic that did that,
Well,
and they're kind of immobilized.
They broke Henry's by finding, by Facilier broke Henry's poison heart spell. So
and that was set up. That was set up by Ivy at the time.
Maybe they have to get that white elephant, or the chess pieces, or something along those lines.
Or something that she used. Something.
Well, they had to. It was a symbol of the glass slipper was a symbol of Henry and Ella, Jacinda, whatever. So Facilier used that to break the poison heart spell. So maybe they use the two chess pieces, something that symbolizes, Hook and Alice.
It's gonna be a long episode because we're like 45 minutes in and we're still at the first piece.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to move on.
But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And then also, no matter what version of Peter Pan this is, I just never thought that with Peter Pan as a character, as what we've known, back in season 3, I didn't know that he would be this powerless against Rumple.
Or that he would make such a small cameo at the end.
Or that, yeah.
Or any cameo at the end.
Small.
But I did like seeing
it was very small. At least we got to see who's coming up next in the next few scenes is Cruella. At least we saw her like twice.
Yeah, I kept wondering how they were going to explain Cruella because, I'm like, she's dead. How do you?
Right. How do you do that?
This is Wish
they
Cruella.
Did it. Right.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Still not likable.
And then
I didn't argue that.
Monica, go ahead. You got points.
You have points to add before we move on.
That was one fancy fireproof cape that Henry had. I do not like that Aurora Philip, and I'm glad that they walked off and we theoretically we'll
never see them again. Yeah,
we'll never see them again. We'll never see those douchebags again.
No,
but I feel like we're all in agreement that was Aurora and Philip at this point. Then, huh?
Definitely,
right.
Okay.
Or at least that realm.
That realm's version.
That realm's version.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just too bad they were teenagers.
So, in Ronnie's bar, Alice and Robin walk in with beignets, and Robin refers to Tiana as Sabine.
Yes, and throughout the whole episode, Robin and Mark and I'm getting names all kind. Robin and Alice refer to each other as Margot and Tilly, and refer to the rest of the town as
Robin and Alice.
Margot and Tilly.
Margot and Tilly.
They refer to
Robin and Alice.
Robin and Alice refer to each other as Margot and Tilly.
Maybe it's just like a habit and it's hard to break it, That's kind of what I think.
Oh, I thought they referred to each other as...
No, at the end of the episode, because I pointed it out like in my notes. At the end of the episode, when they're talking to each other, as the other characters are talking about them, they say Alice and Robin. But then when we get to the scenes with Alice and Robin, they are still using the cursed names. Yes, you're right. They said
so was Hook too. When him and Rumple went to the beachfront. No. I meant towards when they were talking about Ronnie and Henry.
He said Ronnie.
Yeah, he said Ronnie, not Regina. He said Ronnie.
Okay. So that's still.
I guess they are both, but it does get confusing. But yes, but I did notice that.
I have to watch the episode again.
Yeah,
I did. It's partially habit.
And I don't think it even matters at this point. I mean,
no, it doesn't. It kind of reminds me back during. It kind of
nothing like that. I wasn't saying it like that.
It kind of reminds
I'm being
me.
dramatic.
It kind of reminds me of season 2's episode titled "We Are Both,"
and that's
so
what I was just saying.
matter.
Yes,
It doesn't matter to who they refer themselves.
There was
They are
even an
both.
episode earlier in this season when Zelina was couldn't let go of Kelly.
Exactly.
I'm Zelina. I remember now, but that doesn't. I still love this man. I still
I'm still Kelly no matter what. Like, I think at the end of the day, when you have your cursed persona and your actual persona, no matter what it is, it's just your actual persona just went through another life. It's still you.
Yeah, I mean, you still lived through whatever you lived through.
It's still your life. It's just you just had a different name.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had some questions as well?
And when they're doing the party at the bar, aren't there non-cursed people in H-Town?
I'm pretty sure that bar didn't hold the population of H-Town.
Yeah, very doubtful.
Just those who decided to come.
Right.
But theoretically, unless they did some, carding at the door, there should be some kind of mix.
Well, maybe there's a sign at the door that says special event. Maybe there's a sign at the door that says special event.
Right. We can only just imagine.
But then again, when Sabine Tiana is doing her speech to the people who happen to be at her Rolling Bayou place, oh yeah, I'm your queen, and we need a thing to get to another realm, and you know that all of these people are part of the cursed people, because apparently they happen to be all cursed people, because none of them are looking at you like you are a crazy woman.
Maybe there's a section of town that they all hang out in, and maybe there was one guy in the background that was just like, did that chick just say something about her being a queen?
A queen? It kind of reminds me of
the queen.
Yes, queen. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of this. It kind of reminds me of this video game called Wolves Among Us. Where a certain section is set for these people who are a fairy tale. Like they're in this just complete section of the town. So maybe what Bobby was saying, maybe in a section in Seattle, which is Hyperion Heights.
Right.
That's just nothing but magical community, basically.
I don't think it's like Storybrooke where it's like, only these people can enter here and they can't leave and all that. But,
right.
I think it's just, this is a suburb where, just like, you get to a suburb where, it's like, this is where all the German immigrants came to.
Right.
Well, this is the suburb where all the Storybrooke, all the Storybook characters came to. That doesn't mean there aren't other people inside that community, but, for the most part, the people that gather in this community are,
from that realm.
Right.
And you know what though? I think now we know what that realm's name is too. They've always just said it. Either in caption or in voice. They call it the other realm. So yes, I think I'm just going to name that realm the other realm.
Yeah, that's what I've always said. That's what I've always said since the beginning is as when we're talking about the realm that was, that we're referring to, that like Jacinda is from, or Ella or whatever. Yeah, that's what I call it, is the other realm. Do you have something to add before we move on, Monica?
I know it's TV land, but Tiana just leaves her door unlocked.
I mean, hey, she's the queen in the other realm, so hey, anybody could just walk in. It's an open door policy.
I know it's a time saver thing. It just bugs me every time TV land does that. It's like, oh, random people just walk into other people's domiciles, and I'm like,
it's TV.
Yeah. It just makes some things you gotta let go.
I And I know it's TV Land, and I know that's what it is.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
I get you. I'm ready to move on to the next point. How about you guys?
It's getting pretty late. So Hook and Gold trip through the portal, land them at Rumple's farm. Gold says they were brought here on purpose to remind him what led him down the path to the Dark One. Gold says he's ready to fight. Gold says he's ready to fight. Hook thinks there might be another way. They go to Hook's old home where he finds a conch shell to call for Ariel's help. She gives them her last drops of squid ink, and she has in hopes of defeating Wish Rumple. Meanwhile, Henry and Regina continue through the castle, and this time they come across Cruella de Vil. When Henry turns down her advances, she comes at him with a sword. Henry wins the duel, and Regina puts the fur lover in a cage. With a little prodding, and I do mean little, Cruella tells them their family is in the dungeon. They go there and find Ella and Lucy trapped in a small snow globe. Wish Rumple says the globe will fill with snow by midnight if they don't bring him the dagger. Henry's family will die. With that, he disappears. Regina assures Henry that they will figure out something when Hook and Gold finally show up. They say they have a plan, but Henry's not so sure. He thinks they should go ahead and hand over the dagger. Maybe think about who actually deserves a happy ending. Gold says he will take care of it and leaves. Henry worries that he may try to cut his own deal with Rumple, and Regina follows to make sure Gold stays honest. She tells them to go back to the castle to try and find a spell to save Ella and Lucy. Gold goes back to his farm to confront Rumple. Gold says he's been trying to rid himself of the dagger, but every time he tries, it's a burden. He realizes that he can now finally be rid of the dagger without any guilt. When Rumple grabs the dagger, he freezes. Gold has used squid ink to trick Rumple, but it won't hold him for long. Gold decides that he has to rid the realms of Rumple once and for all, even if it means he'll never see Belle again. Regina rushes in just in time. Where are we at? Sorry, lost my place there. Regina rushes in just in time. To stop Gold, which gives Rumple enough time to break free from the ink. He knocks Regina to the ground and force chokes Gold. He tells him it was never about the dagger, but the prophecy the seer gave them long ago. The boy will be your undoing. Back at the castle, Henry takes notes as he pores over books to find a spell. He throws his pen down in frustration and suddenly has an idea. Hook offers to help, but Henry knocks him out. If Hook knew where he was going, he would definitely try to stop. All right. So I don't know if this was the same. Okay. So just a few quick notes from me was, okay, how did Ariel know the Dark One without scales? Because we are like earlier, like in another episode, remember when they woke up, like Hook had to look at him and be like, crocodile? Like we even discussed, it was as if he had never seen him, that version of Hook anyway, had never seen, Rumple without the scales, the Dark One without the scales. So I was curious how Ariel, saw him and instantly knew he was the Dark One.
I think it was like, so I didn't know anything much Supergirl, but there's a character who came on a few episodes ago called Brainiac. He's an alien, and 2 episodes ago, he adopted a human persona because apparently he had gone out for snacks and it almost caused a riot because of his alien appearance. So he adopted a human appearance. And the first time he shows up with our main characters in this human appearance, they're all like, "Oh my god, who are you? What the hell?" They're pulling out weapons like, "What the?" And he's like, "No, I'm Brainiac." And oh right, you are. Okay. And then another character walks in and looks at them and looks at him, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Brainiac," and like, how did you know? And I think that there's just some people who can see
Okay.
who see I'm not sure how to put this. Who see like facial structure or somehow that they see through the superficial.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
All right. Was there? I really didn't have too much more to add there. Elizabeth, it looks like you just had one note before we move on.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is this the first time we've ever seen Gold on the receiving end of a chokehold? Because I don't know if we've ever seen him, because usually he's the only one that can really do that. So so when he's in his old house and Rumple is forced choking, and he's trying, you can see he's trying to do it back, but he can't, because the eviler one has a better choke on him. So I was like wondering, I'm like, that's the first time I think he's ever been choked out.
Good question. I mean, the candidates, I would say maybe Nimue.
But did she do it to him? Because I don't remember that.
I don't know. I'm just trying to go over my head. Yeah.
Right.
Nimue or maybe even his father. There was another one I had in mind too. But yeah, I can't really remember.
I think this is definitely the first time that he's been on the receiving end about it.
Interesting. And okay, did you have anything else to add before we move on to Tony?
No.
Okay, Tony.
So I thought it was awesome seeing the people, that were on the show, different seasons. Corella, just as twisted and evil, no matter what realm she's in. Like I think I like that the most about her character, and that the most that they, ever treated like a villain in the show. Like always a villain, never no redemption, no nothing.
She's a bad dog.
Yes. And Peter Pan as well too. Also, I thought it was kind of too easy for Rumple to turn one of Greek mythology's most powerful weapons into something powerless. Like, how is he able to actually do that? I get.
What item from Greek mythology? Oh, the trident. Okay.
The trident. I'm sorry, but Rumple's powerful and all, but that's basically like a guy's instrument. That trident it's a guy's instrument. How was he able to make that so powerless?
Because the writer said it should be so.
I just thought it was cool that it was like a fork.
Yeah, basically a golden fork.
And I was like, "Oh, turn it back!
Turn it back!"
Like Ariel.
You're a good guy. Turn it back.
In the cartoon, she has a thing about
forks.
About forks.
Dingle hoppers, she used to call them. I think she'll like of having a golden dingle hopper, but turn it back.
Right. So I thought that was pretty cool. That's why I thought it was pretty cool.
Wait, I forget. Where did her trident even come from?
Her father,
King Trident.
Yeah.
King Trident.
No, in her hand. Was it there when she appeared?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I think she might have grabbed it from her side when she.
That makes no sense. She's got no room to like.
No, she definitely had it. She definitely had it in her hand. Definitely.
Okay.
Right.
Definitely.
I'm guessing that at this time, her father has passed. And she has
now she's the queen of the sea.
But then I always guessed that they gave Ursula her story, which would make her the daughter of Poseidon. But
they're probably cousins.
Probably so. Who knows? they never truly kind of met per se in the show, which kind of makes it weird. Yeah. She knew about her, like Ariel knew about Ursula, but didn't never meet her. But also my last question, my last point, and it is a question. Why didn't Henry just trust Hook well enough to come along and help him acquire the Arthur's pen? What would he would have said? No, Henry, you can't come. No, Hook, you can't come.
I kind of had the same feeling. I felt that like I don't think that Hook would have tried to stop him.
Not at all. I
think that's just Henry's thinking in that moment. Henry has reached the point of desperation, and he feels like people will stop him.
Yeah,
and he just doesn't want to take any chances. He needs to do this.
I did have
save
the same
his family
thought,
like now. You know.
I wouldn't have knocked him out. I would have accepted his help.
The way he went down too. The way Hook went down. I looked at it and I was like, and then his legs. Like one of his legs went up as it was going down, and it was a very dramatic fall. I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was very flourish.
All right.
What were you trying to say, Bobby?
Nothing. I don't even remember what I was saying. I was just kind of laughing at her paying attention to the fall.
Oh yeah.
It was a different fall. I felt.
No, you're fine.
You know.
It kind of felt like those falls that they do in animes when their legs are kicked up in the air.
Yeah, that's what he did.
He did an anime fall.
I didn't even watch anime, but I know what you're talking about.
And Monica, looks like you have some notes as well before we move on to the last section.
She got lots of points.
Yeah, Fred. What exactly opened the portal? Because we get Hook saying, "Oh, I think I have something that could help,"
Mm-hmm.
and then we get Alice's mirror. Then Alice's mirror is placed down on the street. Suddenly, a portal opens with not a daggone thing from.
It emerges from the mirror.
Yeah, that witch's glass is a magical item, so that's what.
It's a portal.
Nothing from what Hook and the way he thought was like he had something that would enable this portal.
He said, "I have a way to wish realm."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Except then when it came to them going to the wish realm, he just stood there. And they were like, "Oh, here we have a looking glass from Alice."
Because Hook sent them to Tilly's. Hook sent them to Tilly's, and because he couldn't go there himself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think with it being a magical item.
Huh?
I think with it being a magical item and that Tilly's magical, and all you need to make a magical item work is an act of magic, and magic being back.
Regina and Gold were there. The glass is the looking glass. It's a portal to another land.
Exactly.
And so they set they did what the looking glass does.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the reason why.
The looking glass is supposed to be big enough that you actually go through the glass.
That was our realm. This is another realm.
Yeah, a whole nother realm.
I was expecting that there would have been something of Hook's that would have contributed to that. But yeah, given that she's his daughter, yeah, okay, I accept that. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I really hope Gold made Ariel's try to make a game, because that would really stink if he didn't. The scene with Corella, was that an invisible dog?
No, I think the dog just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But then when she was just run into the cage, there's no dog. So then if there's no dog, what is be rusted before. And it is just this weird. It's there to. It's there to tell you Cruella is there, but not for anything else. And
Okay.
it's cheap storytelling.
Huh?
I think it's cheap corner cutting storytelling because it's only there to tell you that Cruella is about to show up, but it has no other purpose.
Well, there was a lot of that this episode. Like we said, they were trying to brush past things and just, introduce things and get and move on.
Oh yeah.
That one bugged me way more than most.
Fair enough.
I love that line. I got this, because you really need to cut down on the CGI scene. But sword fighting scene, yay! So hey, there's that too.
Henry just likes to prove that he doesn't need his mom all the time. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all
He doesn't
people
always
would.
need his mom to bail him out with her magic or fireball.
I'm good with just sword fighting scenes. Okay, sure. And did anyone? Excuse me. Did anyone else notice Ella and Lucy's when their first muffled screams? Did that sound like puppies?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I think it's just because they were small.
First.
No.
Maybe it was just because Cruella is saying, "Oh, your mutts are in the cellar," or whatever it was she said. Your mutts are in your mutts are in the dungeon. Or mine. And then they go down in there and yeah, it sounded like dogs to me at first. The first couple of seconds anyway. In my biggest beef with this whole episode, Robert Carlyle picked one hell of a time to mumble this one line. The only way to get your family back is to.
I caught what he said.
Rumpelstiltskin himself.
Is to go after Rumpelstiltskin himself.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of what I assumed he said.
That's exactly what he said.
It's just not what I heard. It's just what I assumed.
Yeah, I didn't hear him mutter it at all. I heard it clear, crystal clear.
Okay. All right, rock on. I'm alone in that one. Okay.
When I saw this in the notes earlier, I was trying to figure out what you were talking about.
No, because seriously, I watched that a couple of times and rewound it a couple of times, and I'm like, I can kind of conjecture what he's saying. I kind of assume what he's talking about, but I don't actually hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's
no problem.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the final part of our recap. Henry treks through the forest, determined. He comes across a small dwelling when he feels the point of a sword in the small of his back. A familiar voice tells him to turn around. He follows the command and finds who he was looking for, the apprentice. And he's looking for the author's pen, but he's not just about to hand it over. Henry tells him to test him. The apprentice places his hand on Henry's heart, and the story we've seen over 7 years instantly flashes through his mind. Sorry. Even he cannot wrap his head around the timeline. He knows Henry is a true author and relinquishes the pen to him, but warns him to use it wisely. Henry returns to the castle and retrieves author ink from the hair of Cruella. He goes to the globe to write his story, and Wishrumpel appears to take the pen. This was his plan all along. This Henry Mills may have turned down his offer years ago, but that just meant he needed to find the right Henry Mills, one that didn't grow up with what our Henry had. With his help, Rumpel will finally get the story he wants. Regina Gold, Hook arrive to help Henry and wish Rumpel and wish Henry and find. Let me start that again. Regina Gold and Hook arrive to help and find Wish Rumpel and wish Henry in possession of the author's pen. Regina may be Henry's mom, but to wish Henry, she is the woman that killed his family. Everyone tries to change his mind, but with the stroke of a pen, Wish Henry removes the Guardian's powers and seals Rumpel's immortality. Once the deed is done, Wish Rumpel waves the others away to the snow globe, leaving only Regina. Part of Wish Henry's deal was to get revenge on Regina. This was where I was wrong, even if she's not technically the one responsible. You guys reminded me of that earlier, so I'll just... Back in the Heights, Margot and Tilly are looking at apartments when Tilly feels something odd. She instantly knows her dad is in trouble. They go to Queen Tiana for help in finding a portal. She goes to the people, and with her friend's help, the people listen. Remy comes forth with a bean that he had been saving. Tiana loans them the food truck, and they're off to save their family. But they have one stop to make before heading to the Wish Realm. They're gonna need some help. They drive through the portal to an empty road leading to Storybrooke.
Yay! I'm sorry.
So yeah, Elizabeth, go ahead and unmute yourself. I just wanted to try to not. I couldn't talk over that.
Wait, I didn't even know I was muted.
No, you're good. You're good.
I love the bongos.
I
don't know what you guys are hearing that I'm not hearing. It must be coming from my end because I'm the only one not hearing it.
No,
I think Fred is messing with your audio tonight.
Okay. So anyway, the only note I really had on here was something that we mentioned earlier, was that I did realize that Alice and Robin were still calling themselves Tilly and Margot. And I kind of wondered why that was. I guess they're just more comfortable in those personas. It seems to be at this point. But anyway, yeah, that was really the only thing I had to add. I mean, come on, that Storybrooke. As soon as you saw them go through the portal and you saw like that empty road, that road, even without that sign, what road that is. Because we've seen so many, people come and go and be cursed on that road, and so that was definitely the moment of all the feels for me. Between that and the promo of next week, it was just like, this is all ending. This is ending.
The feels adorkable.
So Elizabeth, you have some points to add.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this, though. The one thing I didn't write was, so about Cruella, I honestly think she looks better all white hair than half white, half black. I thought it was a better look for her, but I don't think she agrees with me. So this young Henry is full of anger, and I always wondered what happened to Wish Henry, from season 6, and whether that story would be resolved. So I'm glad I get to see that. And no matter how angry this other version of Henry is, Regina will never fight him. That is always going to be her son, whether he believes that or not. So I can see that he'd try to fight her in some kind of way, but she won't fight back. I really truly believe she won't do that. Also, Wish Henry used the use of the pen in the storybook. That's not going to last. I truly believe that won't last, because we were reminded that the job is to record, not to write whatever you want. And the Wish Henry, he doesn't know the rules of being an author. He wasn't raised, he did not learn this stuff. So he's writing it down thinking, oh, I have the power to do this. But really he doesn't. He did it wrong. He wasn't recording the information. So somehow that'll easily be reversed, I think.
Well, I think that our Henry can and should write, and the powers of the Guardian were restored, simply because that reverses what the fake author.
Right, but Henry's got to get the pen from him first.
Yeah. But I think he can do that within the rules of being an author, simply because it undoes what a poorly intentioned or fake author, however you want to classify it, that the previous fellow had done.
True.
And Elizabeth, do you have anything else to add before I move on to Tony?
No.
All right, and then Tony, like you had some questions about The Apprentice, or you had some notes about The Apprentice?
I didn't know that there were different versions of The Apprentice, and that the author's pen existed in more than one realm.
Well, I definitely was surprised well, I guess not surprised. I mean, being that this is the Wish realm, so it's literally supposed to be almost an exact replica of our realm. But as far as the author's pen, I would say every realm has an author's pen.
Okay, but I mean, if that's the case, then I truly believe that our Henry, should have brought his pen over too, because
he broke it.
They broke it. He broke it again. Oh yeah, he sure did.
Didn't he break it when when they gave it to him? He said no one should have this power, and he broke it.
I thought that was before when he broke it. He basically just sent the pen and its powers down to the underworld, and they got it back again.
That is what happened.
But they didn't do something to it again after that.
I don't believe so. I think because also with his powers were kind of advancing, kind of where he was writing a lot when he wasn't really
like his eyes would go white, and he just would start writing.
So I mean that's what I was thinking. I just thought that with him being who he is, I thought he would have brought the pen with him no matter which realm or which place he ended up next, cursed or not.
Well, that's what I wonder, is that is it going to be one of those things where he just realizes that he is the author, and he just his eyes go white, and he just just starts scribbling or whatever the case may be, something along those lines.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But
more author covers.
Do you have anything else to add, Tony? Here, you have a few more notes.
Yep. I missed Cruella's one-liners. I don't know if I can say the full liner because of where it says, but hey, they cuss in the show.
What?
Finally, it's filthy in here, and Dalmatian is a bitch to clean. I love that line. I love that line. It was great.
All right.
Who's that?
Hold on.
Who was that?
Hold on. You're fine. Hold on. Go on. I'll be right back. You guys talk so much. You're talking in a second.
Yes, it was on Bobby's side.
Also, anyone remember why Cruella was the key for Henry to get more authors pen ink from her hair?
I mean, I remember it from her season that she got the ink on her hair. I do remember that, and that's how her hair became half white, half black. However, I don't remember how exactly that happened. I remember the scene and her reacting.
It felt familiar, but
because it's I remember half of the scene. I think she dropped the ink or something like that, and it just went to her hair, which doesn't make much sense.
Right.
But
I was a bit confused by that. I think there was a scene where maybe the author, like, she was with the author before, and then like somehow that's how she got that black streak.
Yeah, she was dating the author.
Mm-hmm.
And she got that black streak from the author.
I forgot his name. What was his name again? Is it
Really?
Weasley dude.
I don't remember.
Weasel.
But anyway,
But also, I thought it was funny when Henry figured out what Wrist Rumple was after all along, and when he said plot twist.
That was That was.
And then also, lastly, it really surprised me. I never thought that this that the prophecy that happened way back when in season 2, I believe, when he finally saw the seer, or somewhere in season 1, I don't remember. But I never thought that Rumple's undoing would be made by Wish Henry.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. I feel like that's the whole
I don't even
prophecy.
know if that really is the undoing. I'm not convinced that really is what the undoing is.
We'll see. It could, like I said, it could be that Henry has a Deus Ex Machina moment, like we talked about just a few moments ago.
I just thought it was very interesting to see, because in Wish Rumple kind of confirmed that maybe that this was the undoing, because he says, well, that prophecy comes to fruition today. He
doesn't know that though. He confirmed it, but he's not the seer. True. He doesn't know what the prophecy is.
True. I just thought that since he killed her, that will basically gain the picture, which is the reason why.
But even when he gained that sight, he didn't. It wasn't like he didn't.
He hasn't used it in a long time.
Well, but it was never like, this is what's going to happen. It was just kind of like, it was show like what would happen, but didn't. It was like kind of a vague thing. Like he couldn't.
Well, she called it pieces of a puzzle. That's what the seer called.
And also, I mean, to me, it just kind of seemed like it was another failed attempt for them to add in a a kind of plot device, like how with Emma's powers. Like Emma's to tell of how people people are lying powers.
All right.
But that was it.
All right, and then Monica, you have a few points as well before we close things out.
Isaac Heller was the
Isaac. I was gonna say
Isaac.
I was gonna say Indian, but okay.
Thank you. I remember that now.
That was our original author. So yeah, I get the time is of the essence, but we seeing it being just to get to the other coast of the same realm.
What?
Okay, so Robin and Alice in the Rolling Bayou truck, they use the bean just to get to Storybrooke, which is the other coast in the same realm. So I'm guessing they're just betting that someone in Storybrooke will be able to provide them with a means to which realm.
I would imagine so, yes.
I think that's a rather
risky,
large bet. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We know I mean, how often do people come across portals in Storybrooke? Whoops, I tripped over a portal.
Oops. Hey, I wonder where this goes. Jump.
Yes. From what we know of Storybrooke, yes, I think it's pretty secure that someone's going to be able to create a portal. From what Robin and Alice know, I don't think they have the same knowledge that we do. I
think with I think Alice would know, doesn't have that knowledge, but with how the season started, or when Robin came into the mix of the show, she was in Storybrooke as a young adult.
Oh, right.
So she would know. She would definitely have some idea, or somebody would just come up out of nowhere and just say, "Hey, here's a portal to go back to Hyperion Heights if you so wish."
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yes. So they do have some knowledge of what we know of Storybrooke. So, yeah.
If you ask me, I think both places need one. Like if you ask me, I think both places need to be in one place. You know, from our Eternal Forest to the other realm, I think they just need to be in one place.
Okay,
if you ask me.
I'm good with because of Robin's knowledge. Yeah. Okay. and even though Robin will be because she is now in a different time period. So when she goes to Storybrooke, will she even be alive yet?
I mean, that is so confusing. I mean, because
I guess Robin will be a baby still.
And also, how many Henrys are there going to be? Because we've got Wish Henry, we have Storybrooke Henry, and we have Hyperion Heights Henry.
All together, I think
potentially.
That's quite a bit of Henrys.
And as long as there's nothing else to add, I think that does it for this episode. Very long-winded. I think we've been doing this for like an hour and a half. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get to the arbitrary scale of 723 drunk H-Town citizens.
Wow, nice arbitrary scale. I totally forgot to do one too.
No,
I totally forgot to do one too.
I literally just came up with that. I got down there and I was like, oh damn, Tony didn't put anything in here. Okay. All right, so
cool. What again?
Out of 723 drunk H-Town citizens, because they were all hooting and hollering, enjoying their reuniting with everyone, So yeah, out of 720, hey, I'm from Florida. Out of 700 drunk H-Town citizens, Tony, what are you going to give this week's episode?
Wait, out of 700 what?
723 drunk H-Town citizens.
Out of 723 H-Town drunk citizens, I think I'm going to give it. I like the episode, so with seeing the new people, and I think it was great. With seeing the different. Finally, Henry now accepting that that he now has lived in different stories. So, out of 723 H-Town drunk citizens, I'm going to give it 710.
Okay. I think you more or less explained your.
Already said. Yeah. Yep. Already said it.
All right. So, Monica, we'll go ahead and go with you. Out of 723 drunk H-Town citizens, how many are you going to?
723. I'm going to give it a 95%. Is 687.
You do math.
I do math. Yes.
Well, I do math too, but
she's hiding a calculator.
It's arbitrary scale, darn it. All right, so
I do math.
What did you fault?
I knew it.
What did you fault the show for?
Mostly the little oh, Fred, come on.
Yeah, you seem to have a lot of small things that you didn't get past.
Overall, I loved it, and I know they're crunched for time, and they're trying to cram things together, and I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt for that. There's just still some things that yeah, and also next week I really want to give it 100% next week. So,
What? I can't hear you.
I didn't hear what you said.
I really want to give it 100% next week. So
Yeah,
sure we will.
So we're gonna leave some space for
you don't have to leave space. You don't have to judge. You know, I don't. There's been plenty I've
That's
given.
not how this works, honey.
Yeah.
I did love this episode. I did, and there was just something that bugged me that probably shouldn't have, but they still bugged me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then Elizabeth, what are you going to give it this week as far as out of 723?
I really can't think of a number. I'm having a hard time with that, but I feel like it wasn't as perfect as last week's episode was for me. I liked it, but I didn't love it as much. 628 is what popped in my head right now, so I guess I'll go with that.
All right. I'm gonna just jump out a number and say 672. I really like.
So y'all are giving it less than me, but y'all are giving me crap for giving.
You're scoring next week's episode. Which you don't need to do.
I'm not giving anyone crap. Yeah.
That ain't me. My name is Wes, and I'm not in that mess.
No, I wasn't giving anyone crap either. No, I was just saying that I'm going to give it 672. Not really. I mean, for the most part, this is a pretty decent episode. I definitely, got a little chucked up there towards the end, seeing the leaving Storybrooke or entering Storybrooke sign.
Yes.
And
the feels.
I mean, they've more or less pared it down to who matters. I mean, they've even thrown Ella and Lucy into a snow globe, and then the rest of everyone else, with the exception of Regina. But it's cool that the two they still have like Margot and Tilly to represent this season, and I really love their characters. I love their characters. I love what they've brought to this season. I love what they did with Hook, and that's a result of with Alice / Tilly and whatnot and everything, and the way that they they combined Alice and Tilly, or brought them into the fold as far as, Tilly being, in love with Robin, or Alice, Targo, Tilly, with all those names, but anyway,
those girls,
all that,
those ladies.
But that's why, what I said, 672, right? Yeah, 672.
672.
Not a whole lot I didn't like about this episode. I mean, there were definitely some glaring moments that they had to kind of brush past, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt as far as that's concerned. So yeah, I give it a high B, low A. But still, yeah, definitely can't wait for next week. I did read the ratings this week. I think it said something along the lines of 0.5, 2.1, million. So basically, pretty much in the same ballpark we've been all season. I mean, not terrible, but not great. I did read that it did get a slight uptick in, in just the week, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are kind of like, oh, this is ending now, so, there's a lot of people that left it and are now curious and want to see what it's become, but yeah,
I really wish they just stuck it out, to be honest with you.
So that does it. Within just a few more days, we're going to be watching the finale. We'll be watching at Bill and Anne Marie's house.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah. And in the meantime, there's just a few more days. If you want to join the discussion, you can always email us at greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com. The Twitter is at GFStorybrooke. The Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. The voicemail number is 424-274-2352. That's 424-274-2352. And Tony, why don't you take a break from the bongos to let us know what your where can people find you as far as social media is concerned?
You guys can find me on Twitter at hoops900 at hoops900 on Twitter, and possibly soon Instagram, maybe. Thinking about it. Who knows? Probably the same number. I mean, the same name. So who knows? Yes.
Okay. And let's see. Monica, why don't you let us know where we can find you on social media?
Twitter at Monica Sedai, SEDAI. Yeah. If I'm there at all, that's where I'm at.
All right. And Elizabeth, can you remember your social media?
I was trying to get on. Okay. Twitter is at Queen_Liz87. I'm never on it, so.
Yes, Queen.
Yes.
Ditto.
I'm just me. I'm always on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook, so it's really all that matters. I've got 3 Instagram pictures. Nothing glorious there either. So.
And then, of course, you can find me, hosting this for one more week, and then of course, the inevitable Hawk, HAWKE, and then Bobby Hawk on Facebook. I look like I'm inebriated holding a box of s'mores.
No, it looks like you got the Infinity Gauntlet. I've been wanting to see that whole shirt the whole time.
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Just
you mean this whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to see it last Sunday, and that ended up not happening. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see it sometime this week. I'm one of the few that haven't.
It's definitely going to test your emotions.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
I
am not saying anything. I'm just saying that it is definitely going to test your emotions. End of story.
You're that.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's not giving away anything. It's not giving away anything.
No,
I've already seen the
that.
memes stand and everything. Yeah, whatever.
And then I also want to see it again, and I also want to see Deadpool too. So I'm excited.
A lot of cool things coming up. So I mean, this may be ending, but there's a lot of cool things on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
there's a lot of cool beginnings. A happy beginning now. It's
and until next week, guys. Who's going to count us down?
And you ready? Let me know.
Until next week, guys. Tony.
And 3, 2, 1.
Greetings from Storybrooke.
And Storybrooke.